I'd like to share some of my thoughts about freedom and liberation, and perhaps aspects of my experience that I've had in the pursuit of truth. So, freedom and liberation, I think, is what unconsciously or consciously all human beings are looking for. They're looking to be free of the tyranny of the mind, the obsession with being better, bigger, stronger, more than, the conditioning and the in society of having to become somebody, to become someone, to become something better, bigger, and stronger. So we want to be free of the burden of carrying around in our lives, in our minds, in our heads, carrying around in our heads this measuring of ourselves all the time against everything in life. There's some kind of measurement going on. And so years ago, the question came to me about two questions in particular to do with freedom and liberation. Was, well, what does freedom look like to you? And I can remember thinking it wasn't this. So I knew then that my mind was still creating another version of freedom, that there was this resistance to this, to everything how it is, because I wanted another version of freedom and liberation. I wanted my version of freedom and liberation. And then the other question that came to me was, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this moment? And the same thing, it would be, there was some knowing part of me that knew in a way there was nothing wrong with this moment, but I didn't want to surrender to that. I didn't want to accept it because I was frightened that there would be nothing, that there would be this sort of void, and all the aspirations and dreams and the images and fantasies that I held in my mind would be null and void. They're null and void. And as time went by, and I'd obviously had glimpses of truth, and once truth gets its foot in the door of your life, once you have a glimpse of reality, you then start to empty out and clean out, as Rumi says, you clean out your house. You clean out all of the dysfunction and conditioning that is in the way, these perceptions, the way that you perceive everything starts to fall away. And then the freedom and liberation starts to, it starts to reveal itself to you, that it isn't all the things that you hold in your head and that you carry around.